How y'all doing? I'm the Watchman, and this video right here is not just about Jefferson or of course Creflo Dollar, but I didn't plan on doing this video, and it's saddening to me, and because I'm in the middle of two series, but it's saddening when I look at teachers of the word as myself. For we're all called to be ministers, whether you go to school and become ordained, or whether God personally calls you in your life. You know, many of us are called, but few are chosen. But what's been saddening to me, matter of fact, I'll get around to where I done this video. I made a response to Jefferson's video, I think over a year ago, or close to a year ago, and of why I hate religion but love Jesus, I believe, something like that. But I was answering somebody's response. Somebody had responded to that video again today, and I was answering it, and it already had been on my mind for just months, and I never said anything, only to certain people. You know, the poem and things of that nature, millions have watched the poem. I know y'all have watched the poem. But one thing, it's one thing to knock organized religion. And I get the spiritual aspect that a lot of people say he was getting at. But Jefferson was not just talking about false religions, as we tend to. I've noticed from the comments and from my interactions with a lot of people, a lot of people are making I have to say, making the excuse for him and saying, well, he's just talking about false religions and bad churches. No, but Jefferson, and I respect him for being clear, he makes it clear he's talking about religion. He doesn't say false religion. He doesn't say fake religion. He's talking about religion, organized religion. And I believe so many of us want to make that excuse for him and just say, no, he's just talking about fake religions. He's not talking about organized religion, period. Beloved, in this day and time, there are many people against organized religion. So it didn't surprise me at all. And if you read the poem, on the description of that video, the original one that he made, Why I Hate Religion But Love Jesus, he says it in the poem, religion. I'm against religion. He just outright says it word for word, but people will still make excuses, to the day dies. But that's not what this video is about. What this video is about, what a lot of people don't know or didn't realize, he is taking the link out. But I decided to go ahead and do some little homework study, not on him but others, and I'm gonna get to the others. The one thing that burdens my heart as a teacher is when I see people make money off of God. Now Paul says distinctly, a workman is worthy of his wages. Jesus, when dealing with his disciples, he said, take no purse with you. Don't worry about, those things, because I will provide. Now, of course, we're to, make sure we either working or getting money some other way. If you're an evangelist, the people or the venues are going to pay you. I've personally always had problems receiving money from people when it comes to the word, because the word is freely given to me. Freely given, freely I share. And but if it was my living full time, then of course one never asked to speak. Like right now, I always speak for free, hands down. So of course, if it was my living, I would ask for some money on the side. Or that would be like, I would have like just whatever y'all can donate. Basically, that's what I do. Whatever y'all can give me, I'm fine with it. True indeed. Now, and I'm not saying that Jefferson doesn't do that. He might do that, and I know other evangelists who do it. So be it. But what a lot of people don't know is that video that went on like 63 million or wherever, how many views he got. It actually launched a company for watches. These watches called Crooks watches. I don't know if it was actually launched, but let's just say it put him on the map. And I knew this when it first came out, and I, humbly just didn't say anything. I just wanted to use the Bible which he rarely uses, to attack what was said in the poem. And like I said, I've listened to some of his stuff, and I'm not here to judge his heart. I applaud anybody willing to get out there and teach the word and share the gospel. I'm not, so I don't want people, of course I'm going to get it anyway. Oh, Josh, you this and this. I'm going to get called all types of names and blah, 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 things of that nature. I'm used to it. It's okay. But I actually like and respect Jefferson because he is trying to spread the gospel. And that's why it saddens me when I see people about money. You make this poem, and I hope he even listens and listen to this and can see where my point of view is, because I'm not the only one who feels this way. When it says Jesus was without blame, I have to look at my own life and things that I do, being a teacher of the word. A lot of things that I do, people can look at me and point and say, yeah, well, if you look for fault in anyone, you can always find it. You can always find it. But the one issue that I had with this is, you make a poem, and a lot of people didn't know this, but you make a poem knocking certain things about religion. Boom, 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 boom. And matter of fact, his first words of the poem was what? Jesus came to abolish. He either said came to abolish the law or abolish religion. That is not biblical by far. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. But you say all these things, boom, 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 but you're selling cruci watches. I call them cruci because it was like crucifix, and it was the word crucifix and the word watch in the same. You say all of these things about religion, but you use religion to make money off of. I don't know if people can feel me. It's like I'm knocking the church for this, and this, yet I'm using the church to sell items. And it says that a percentage of these items, a percentage of the watches sold go to a charity, but it doesn't name the charities. It doesn't name the charities at all. And he became the spokesperson, of course, this was not a coincidence. I definitely don't believe in the slightest. But he became the spokesperson for these crux, C-R-U-X watches. Crucifix, it's like the word that's why I call them cruci watches. But it's like crucifix and watches put together. So, of course, he becomes the spokesperson and the model for these watches because, they blew up, no telling how many was sold. And even so now this company Crooks watches. Crooks, wow, Crooks. I thought that hit me a while ago, but I don't honestly believe he's a crook. But men have learned to make money in many ways, and so many people the poem. And I was sitting there for the past, for years, and like I said, it came back up today. It's like, okay, but the man is advertising crucifix watches, crooks watches. The same time he's downplaying religion, he's making money off of religion. I have a problem with this as a fellow teacher of the word. And I just came off for 12 hours for like 5 months, 12-hour shifts. I work an hour away. I build ovens, and I love if God told me to go teach full time, and he hasn't. That's the only reason I haven't. I've had churches, my own church. The elders got mad at me. We got into a heated debate because I would not go to a school and become ordained into the ministry full time because I want God to direct every path. And money was one of the issues they brought up. They said, well, Josh, you can make so much money, the conference will pay you so much money. I don't see, pastors living shabby. But they was like, you can make so much money, da da da. Look, you're working at this little factory and da da da. Beloved, this is what they couldn't understand. And there has been some animosity towards these certain elders, towards me, ever since, believe it or not. They said, matter of fact, before one of them even said, I see you as, what did he say? I see you as a Mercedes. I see you as a Mercedes, but you're living as a Nova. You're living as a Nova, Joshua. And I said, you know what's funny? God sees me as a Rolls Royce. Right now. I don't need a certificate from a college for God to see me as priceless. You know, it was almost an insult. Because I was content that I'm not robbing people. I have an honest job, taking care of my kids and my family, loving the Lord. This video is kind of hard. Like I say, I've actually sat and watched some of his videos, and that's why, you know, it's on my heart and it's on my mind. What they couldn't understand is the same job where they say, "Oh, you can do this." No telling how many people I've introduced to the Lord. You know, just who the Lord, not I introduced, who the Holy Spirit through me has reached at my job. I won't even get into the names and the experiences that has happened, because then I'll get way off track of the video. But I'm telling you, great things have happened to where I've sat back. I've literally, y'all, I kid you not, I've sat back and I'm like, I see why you want me here, Father. Even though the pay ain't great, even though I could have a bigger house, more money, and be traveling and doing all this, I'm willing to give all that up to do your will. To do your will. To reach others. Reach others who would in no other wise, I guess in no other wise, be reached with your truth. If all great teachers forsake the common workplace, who's gonna reach him? The working man, the everyday common man. That's what I was trying to tell my elders. Paul, the greatest evangelist ever. The greatest evangelist, well, next to Christ, the greatest evangelist made tents. And he was schooled up under one of the most smartest men of his time. Paul was no dummy at all. We talking about master's, bachelor's degrees. You talking about up here in education was Paul. And Paul pushed all that aside to go reach the common man. But anyway, let me get back to the point. So when I hear teachers of the word constantly talk about money, because a lot of people don't know that point about Jefferson. He's taking the link off the original video. That's what made me read his poem that he has on there now, where he just blatantly just says, you know, I'm against religion. But anyway, the link was selling watches. No telling how many. I just read a blog on somebody who bought one of his watches. She says Jefferson made me buy it because she likes him so much, you know. But I'm gonna have these links in the description so y'all can read it for yourself. It's by Stars Tracks, and it shows the watches, and she talks about how because she loves Jefferson, she bought the watches and all this. No telling how many watches they bought and sold. He's now the spokesperson. He's the model for this watch company. But I just found that ironic. I don't know if you do. And I know many people, I'm not judging the man. Judging is saying if a person is going to heaven or hell. That's not for me to judge. I'm a fellow watchman. And I'm not just going to talk about Jefferson. I'm just happen to be talking about him right now, using him as an example right now. And I'm definitely going to talk about a couple others in a minute. But it was saddening to me. Because I honestly believe, like I said, I hope he watches this. And certain things hit him. You say, well, maybe I should stop talking about money so much. You know, because I believe he has a earnest heart to reach souls. But the devil will use earnestness. The devil will use me if I'm not careful, beloved. Because he just made a video January 2nd where he's asking for more money. He says, I need your help. That's the name of the video. And I already knew he was asking for money because he had his book and a t-shirt up like this. Beloved, I just spent 2 hours and feel like definitely a waste. Like I say, it has some good stuff, good little points. But only one time did I hear him speak out the Bible. And I've watched several of his videos. I kid you not. Only one time I heard him actually try to quote some, get into his Bible and quote some stuff, and that was him dealing with tattoos, where he was justifying getting tattoos. I'm not gonna speak on that. That saying is, I got a big tattoo coming around my neck right here. I got a tribal coming right here, and I regret getting them. You know, I mean, the Bible is clear. Leviticus, he said, he tries to say that verse was not really talking about the tattoos, because it was talking about the dead. If you're, because the pagans used to get tattoos after the dead, but they used to get tattoos just period, just period. And and he compares it to meat eating. Well, I'm a vegetarian, and I should be vegan. I've still got a battle with cheese, y'all. And the diet is up to everyone else. God created us. When he created us originally in the Garden of Eden, he gave us our diet right there in the first 3 chapters of Genesis. Nuts, fruits, and berries. You know, only when Israel went into Egypt and was enslaved in Egypt 400 years did meat eating really get ingrained in their diet. So and I'm not getting to all of that, because that's people will forget about the video, forget about the selling crucifix watches, being a spokesperson, and just deal on that. I don't want to hear stuff on that. But what's saddening to me, you're not the spokesperson. And I went to the Facebook page where it talks about him, where he's the spokesman for. I'll have that link up there too, because I went to the Facebook page where where Crucifix Watches is, they sponsor him and speaking engagements, and they're actually bragging about how they don't have enough. The arena they rented wasn't big enough to hold, I guess, the thousands of people, the hundreds or the thousands of people that came. I'm not sure if it's hundreds and thousands, but to make another video, you're asking for money. You're already the spokesman for this watch company, telling how much money you made. And I'm not here because some people say, well, you don't know, he could be broke now. True indeed. But 3 months ago, you made a video about how your book is on the number 3 on the New York Times number 3 bestseller in the nation. Let me say that again. This is just 3 months ago. Your book is number 3 on the New York Times bestseller. And you're still making videos asking about money. I like to see personally from you, and this is from me to you if you're watching, more in-depth Bible. And I'm not just speaking to be speaking. I'm speaking from a person who just sat for a couple hours going through your videos, because I don't never like to talk on nothing I don't know. And I'm not talking about a 3-minute video on we should go talk to people about God. I mean, we should. Everybody, if you're a Christian and you're watching a Christian video, you know you need to be talking to people about God. Do I just make a 3-minute video about that? Or do I give you some good word? Something life-sustaining. The Bible. Anytime a man is constantly speaking and he's not referring you to the Bible more than any other book, you have to be weary. You just have to be weary. Beloved, he refers to the book he just wrote, Jesus versus Religion, more than he refers to every video I watch. He referred to his book. Every video I watch, hands down, he refers to his book. Only once I saw him crack open and read in the Word. Now, I did not watch every video because I have a life. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's just that I'm not going to spend hours. My fiance, my family, my friends will tell you, I spend hours listening to good sermons. Men, teachers of the Word who are in the Word, but I won't spend hours listening to someone just speak and not cracking open their Bible. That's dangerous. That's deadly. And there's a compromise, especially when you're justifying tattoos, getting tattoos. Your wife doing the Harlem Shake, or like you say, it doesn't matter which day you keep the Sabbath, in your video, God rest in shalom. God specifically just said the seventh day. I won't get into that, but he's just one, and it's saddening because the word is freely given. I'm supposed to teach people about faith. Now people are like, "Oh, Josh, you're just hating." I'm not speaking for what I didn't do. I got several scholarships for football, basketball, and track. I was MVP, all city, because I played city ball because city ball didn't play on the Sabbath. But I gave it all up for the Lord and for the Sabbath because college sports played on the Sabbath. It was hard, you know. It hurt my heart. Sometimes I used to think like, well, what if I would have played? But I knew that was the devil, because God has truly blessed me. I'd rather be poor and a worker for His kingdom than to be rich playing sports. Be like Tebow, praying before games. But I broke God's law to get there. So even though I'm praying to God to play a violent game, something that God doesn't take joy in, I won't get into that, because sports really. What if you were a true Christian and playing sports? You would be riding the bench. You wouldn't be on the team. You'd be like, coach, be like, why you didn't get the rebound? I'd be like, he's been having a bad game, coach. So I let him get the ball. I let him dunk on me because he only got 2 points. Come on, coach. Come on. Why you let him score the touchdown on you? Coach, because he been having a bad game. Me and him was out there talking. I was trying to, why that boy just blow by you? Because I was reading him, I was telling him about this one scripture I was studying the other day, and it's no big deal. It's just a game. Come on. God calls strife, the word strife that Paul says we should not have, is another word for competition. Competition. So there's an irony between sports and Christian life. And my friend Andre Battles does a great video on that. But anyway, I want to get back to so I'm not speaking from something I didn't do. Even now, trust me, beloved, I see so many ministers and they be traveling in nice homes and things of that nature. And sometimes the devil tries to whisper in my ear, that could be you, But then I look at my friends at work. Like, I'll talk about Miss Jean. I call her Mama Jean. She's 60-something years old. And, every time I pass her and we're talking about, say, the desire of ages, and she's finding truth for the first time, even though she's been in the church for years. When she sees the truth of the law and the Sabbath truth, and beyond that, even way beyond that, how Jesus really is, and how Jesus was when He came on earth, how He really was, and God is showing her all these truth, to see the light in her eyes. To know if she has questions, she can come to me. My friend Andre Evans, to see that when the truth was shown to him and he ate it up because he loves the Bible. So when he's like, what? I've never been shown this. When I see that truth from like my boy Minister, and I say Minister Andre Evans, when I see that truth opened up to him and he's reading, coming back showing me verses like, Josh, look at this verse I found in Isaiah. I'm like, it's worth it. I found out that the greatest thing in life is investing in people. And one of the ways I can invest in it is to give up my desire to chase the world, to have a big house, to have this, to travel here every week like other evangelists, to give all that up, to reach the common working man. I owe God that. I owe Him that. For saving my life, I give it away. Some of my elders at my church don't agree. They're like, Josh, you're just wasting yourself. Do you know how many people you can reach if you had that certificate by your name? I'm like, do you know who I'm reaching now? That one old lady like Mama Jean. Been working on that press machine for years. And she finally finds truth. That she's not being taught in other churches. That she's not being shown by the ordained. Because believe it or not, because they work for a conference, they have a do's and don'ts list of what they can and can't talk about. And like I say, I respect Jefferson for even trying to spread the gospel. Not trying, but spreading the gospel and getting people excited about God's word. I respect it, and I love it, and I hope he can read this from one brother to another. From one brother to another. If you honestly show the faith. Show me more teachers who we teach faith all day, but when are we gonna start living by it? When are we gonna show it? Jesus said, "Don't worry about money. Stop asking your people for money." Even my other brothers and teachers, I'm talking about SDA. It kills my heart. I had one person from my ministry page, good friend of mine, named Tessa. She said she got excited because this one minister, brother of mine who I love listening to, Ava Myers, he came out with a new series, and she said she went to go listen to it, and it was such and such amount of dollars, and we make them so expensive to where we can't afford them. Well, you know, the regular people can't afford them. I can't imagine, beloved. I can't imagine selling what God gives me freely. That's why I love, like, Walter Vife. Of course, Walter Vife and Amazing Discoveries, ADTV. Of course, they sell their stuff, but they just ask for donations. Now I can understand it, Jefferson. And he just, that one video we said I need your help. It was he ain't say give me a price and all that. But beloved, if you speaking in sold out arenas, your book is #3 on the New York Times bestseller list just 3 months ago, I'm sure you're not that hurting the way you got to make a video asking for money. Show your faith in God. Don't we teach faith? What is really faith? What did Jesus commission his disciples? He said, don't worry about where your bread and your water and your money is going to come from. I'm sure you have enough people, Jefferson, to where if you needed money, it's already there. I'm sure, hands down. Anyway, it just kills me now when I see so many other ventures, like I say, my brother Albert Myers and other teachers of the word. You know, it hurts my heart. One person, I remember this one Miss Eve came to me in the church, in my church, 'cause I was personal ministries director, and she said, I want to buy this series by Dwayne Lemon, but it's almost $200. And I'm like, okay, how many sermons is in it? And it's packed. Like I say, I listen to Dwayne. I love Dwayne. I love Ava. I love my boy Jefferson. I believe they have good hearts. Hearts is in the right place. And these men, they're traveling, they're teaching the word. But when does it come a point in time when you say, I have to make a living off my, like Paul says, a workman is worthy of his wages. But when does it come a point in time when you say, okay, God has truly blessed me right here now. Let me do everything in donations. If you got $1, you can get my series. You throw me a penny, I'll take a food stamp. You could throw me a I wish. You could say, Josh, I wish. I can't imagine charging you for what's given to me freely. My fiance, I'm getting married in 2 weeks, y'all. Okay, I've announced it on here in this video. She gonna say, you announced it on? Yeah, I announced it in the video because I couldn't help it, but I know I'm gonna have to what I'm speaking on, because I can't imagine. I think that's probably why God has kept me working where I work, because he like, boy, if I charge you, you try to sell any of your service, you gonna be broke. I can see you just giving them all. Nah, Josh, I only got $1. Here, you got a whole series. Here, take this one too. Take this. Listen to that one first. Listen to that one. We're gonna be broke. I remember I was laughing with a good friend of mine, Jefferson. He exposed spiritual formation in Oakwood, in a great series that y'all need to watch. He was one of the brave souls who exposes it on a high level. And I never forget he had but he exposed how it's in our schools, in Seventh Adventist schools now, on a high level. And but I never forget, he made a comment that made me laugh, because it's so true. You know, it was back when, I'm not sure if he's still doing call porter and, you know, selling books. And I used the example in one of my videos. I was like, if I was a call porter, they'd be mad at me because I stay broke. Hey, I got the Great Controversy Design Vase. They're like, I love to buy it, but I ain't got enough money. You gonna read it? Yeah, I'm gonna read it. Take this one, and look, read this one as a daily devotion. I come back, they be like, Josh, what happened to the books? You know, when they look at me with that look in their eye, you know, I be giving away all my stuff, because how can I charge people for the word? Did Jesus lived a poor and obscure life. That is the, and when I see these teachers of the ministry and of the word, you know, I look at Jefferson's house. You're taking care of, God has blessed you. When do we just say, okay, this faith that I'm trying to teach others about, let me show it in my life. Let me stop asking my listeners for money. And I'm not saying nothing's wrong, because many people do, and we need the donations. And I'm not saying it's not even a pride thing. It's a Jesus is going to take care of me thing. That should be the last thing on my list, because I believe we've come to this comfortable way of living that Jesus, the disciples, and the other people in the Word did not live. They did not live this comfortable, big house, nice cars. And this is how teachers get detached from the Word. That's why I think, and I hate to say it, but that's why you probably can listen to 9, 10 videos and only hear the Bible quoted a couple times or read from. Now, you do say some verses in your other videos, but read from just a couple times. But you're always referring to your book in every video. Hands down, every video, you refer to your book that you wrote, of course, because you want people to buy it, but not the Bible. You refer to your book 10 times more than the Bible. And it's just me to you. And I'm not picking on you. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And when are we gonna wake up? We can hold our teachers accountable, and our teachers will change. We can hold our teachers accountable. Let's hold them accountable. Let's start seeing them. You know, Jesus said, by their fruit you shall know them. Are they living by faith? Or are they living off of the money you're sending? Or, how should I put it? Matter of fact, I'm not going to put it anyway. Let's see how Paul lived. Here Paul traveled all around the New World, delivering the gospel. Of course, people looked out for him. And see, when you allow God, when you put your faith in God, you'd be surprised who you meet, where you're working, you know, and you're going to be a light during the your Harlem Shake video, in the description, which I'm not going to get to it. I was just, if I see my pastor doing the Harlem Shake video, but I'm a sinner in the worst way too, so I can't judge you. You know, you and your wife be having fun. I tell my wife, stop shaking the hip so much like you're doing, and that, you know, don't want to cause men to lust. But during that, you said you're sitting around with nothing to do, so y'all decided to do that. Then work, get a job. That way you ain't gotta ask people for money, you know. But anyway, if you don't have that time, but if you're traveling and speaking, sold out arenas and things of that nature, let's not let our focus keep being money. Where is our faith? Let's look how Paul lived. You know, here Paul is starting up all these churches. He's traveling, walking. No fancy, no camels, no entourage. oftentimes, let's read it. This is 2 Corinthians 11, verse 23. Matter of fact, before I read this, what did Jesus say? He said, uh, the birds of the air have nests, the foxes have holes, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Jesus was a homeless wanderer teaching the word. He lived by faith. Every day he was dependent on God. And the little money he got, that him and the disciples got, they often took care of the needs of others. And this is the point that Judas was talking about when he was lying, though, with Mary Magdalene came and she anointed Christ, and Judas said, man, that was 300 pence. That could have been used to give to the poor, because that's what they did. And when John says, because Judas only said that because he wanted to rob the change bag that they had, because they were known for giving what little they had to the poor, giving it away. So why would Jesus ask for, yeah, I need your help, I need this money? If you listen to that video, it's so sad, because he says, I need your help because I'm about to have a baby. If y'all basically don't give me this money, I'm going to start using YouTube pay page or something if I don't get enough money to help sponsor, because making YouTube videos is rough, and I can't make YouTube videos and work, which is a lot because you only have 63 videos. I have over 200 something in work. It's a little, but it's worth it. You can do it easy. It's easy. And your videos is only a couple minutes. You can't sit down and do a 3-minute video and then go to work. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let me get to it. Let me get to the point. But here Jesus makes a point in describing his lifestyle. He said, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Anyway, 2 Corinthians 11, verse 23 says, are they ministers of Christ? I speak as a fool. I am more. In labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, in deaths oft. Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep. In journeyings often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren, in weariness and painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. Beside those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of all the churches. Something that Jefferson speaks out against. Paul says the care of the churches is upon me daily. Meaning that's his first need, not himself, not his new baby that he has on the way. Not, I need help, y'all. I need more money. Even though I'm sold out arenas, I'm the spokesman for them, selling watches. You know, no telling how many sold. My book is on the New York Times bestseller. But Paul says, beside me daily, verse 28, the care of all the churches, the place that Jefferson really got his fame off of saying really isn't important. And I know some people are going to say, that's not what he meant, because that's all I keep getting comments. That's not what he meant. That's not. I'm sorry, y'all. That's what you're saying, but I'm going on what he said. And I understand. And some of y'all, look, I'm going to be real with you. I'm being real and honest with you. Well, I totally agree with y'all when y'all say, that's not what he meant. You know, he's talking about false, you know, how God is supposed to be in the heart and spirit, and churches in spirit. We're the living churches, you know, churches with us everywhere we go. I agree totally 100%. But if I'm going to say something and it's going to cause youth and young people to think I'm saying I'm against religion and organized church, that I'm going to word it to where it's clear that I'm not against religion and organized churches. But if that's what I meant, then I'm not going to change it at all. And beloved, he didn't change it at all. Read the poem that he has in his description box on his original video. He says it even word for word on that again, highlighting it. I am against religion. It don't say just false religion. He's talking about organized religion, period, like a lot of people are nowadays. And when you tend to throw away the body, remember Jesus said, "I'm the head, the church is my body." You know, you tend to try to justify getting tattoos. Okay. Beloved, Paul said, often in hunger and thirst. He didn't have to be like this. This man was taught by Galileo. He was, ooh. Paul could have got any job, any high-paying job, any degrees. He could have lived off the money from the churches gave. But if you remember, he brought money to the church's need in Jerusalem. It was never for himself. He was never pleading for money for himself. Jesus and none of the disciples were. None of the disciples were. Too many evangelists, I personally believe, and I'm just saying it for me, y'all. I take all retribution, all hate messages, all you this, you that, you judgmental, you just jealous, you envious, and all. I'll take all that because, beloved, I'm sorry. I can't imagine charging people for the word of God to every inch of my bone. I remember when my good brother Mark Lakes, out of the Middleton Church in Ohio. I call it my second home church. Really, not my second home church. I call this. I receive so much love there, you know, sometimes even more than my home church, and I love that church, you know, as a home church. And I remember one time I traveled up there to speak, and he was like, you know, how much money do I need to give you? And I'm like, no, brother, I can't imagine. I said, and finally I said, just give whatever your heart you give. And I'll leave it at that, you know. Beloved, if I teaching you about God and faith, how close I'm connected to Jesus, when am I going to start living it? Jesus says, do not worry about your bread, your water, or your money, for they shall be sure. So can I say I'm this tight to Jesus, but yet and still I disrespect him by asking others for, when I say I need this and I need that, when I really don't? Somebody say, well, you don't know his living situation. What? Filling out arenas, and I'm a spokesman for this big watch company. And look at the fruit, beloved. My book is the 3rd on the New York Times bestseller. When do I really start living the word? Nobody's perfect, and that's why I'm not judging them by far. I just want to see more teachers who don't care about money. You know, and when I say don't care, of course you need money to sustain, you need money to make the DVD. So I'm not knocking Ivor Myers or Pastor Lemmy. They need money to make the DVDs, press the covers, sell them, package them, send them off. But when do we get like Walter White? They upload everything on YouTube for free. I was so happy when I saw Repairing the Breach on YouTube. It was almost like Christmas. Wow, wrong word to use, but you get my analogy. I was happy, you know, back when I used to celebrate Christmas when I was a little kid, before I learned the truth. But I was so happy because I'm like, wow, you know, and so many people miss out on the word. It's like I'm basically saying, yeah, I got this good Bible. God showed me this, and it's gonna help and save you, and it's gonna be medicine for your soul. Give me $79.99, and I'll share with you this truth in the 9-DVD series. I'll give you my 9 DVDs if you give me $79.99. But if you ain't got $79.99, I'm sorry, you can't I can't get it. I'm sorry. I gotta make a living. I'm sorry. Even though, woo, I'm telling you, it saved my life. It was medicine. Woo, woo. If you don't have 7.99, 79.99, you can't get it. I'm sorry, but I love you though. I love you. I love you. Even though this could save your life, and I could just, but I love you though. I love you. I love you. Do I really? I'm just saying, y'all. Oh, we all need prayer. Let's keep these brothers in prayer. Let's keep these brothers in prayer. And maybe if we hold them to a higher standard and say, don't worry about the money. God got you. Just God got you. He got you. Don't worry about it. Do a series on Samson. Let's get back into a Bible study. Give us some food. Not just so much opinion. And you have to be weary if someone is giving you so much opinion without Bible to back up or to stand on. You have to be weary of, is it really Bible based? And that's for anybody. That's for anybody. Anybody. It's not just for Jefferson. Because like I told you, I respect him highly. Because at least he's trying to spread the gospel. At least he's trying to spread the gospel. And he says some good things. He really does. And we need more people trying to spread the word. Who it takes a lot to spread and talk about the word and to spread truth. You're gonna get talked about, people gonna call your names, all of that. So just give me some teachers who freely received, freely given. Freely received, I freely received it, I'm gonna freely give it. Y'all have a blessed one.